Hi, it's Mariella. Today I'm sharing one last 5-minute letter with you. These are letters that I have written to my email community. And I usually share a personal story and a lesson that I've learned or an insight that I've gained around energy management, time management, and thriving in your own way as an introvert. If you want to see the other 5-minute letters that I published on the podcast, I'll place the links for you in the description. The first one that I ever did, although I didn't call it a 5-minute letter at the time, that one was called, Are You a Low Energy Person? In that podcast episode, I expanded a little bit on the email that I'd written and talked about my personal experience feeling like I was just a low energy person and that I could never have a lot of energy because I was an introvert, which I later learned is a misconception. It's still the most viewed and most referred to podcast episode across all my channels, so give it a listen if that sounds interesting to you. I'll link to it in the description as well. This is a short story about playing Duplo with our son. When our son was younger, we loved playing Duplo together as a family. We'd just dump a big pile of those building blocks on the floor and just start stacking them. And we could spend hours building and playing like that. Our son was a toddler, like pre-toddler stage, so it was more like parallel play where you play next to each other, but you don't really interact with each other. During one of our playtimes, I noticed something interesting. We each had a very distinct way of playing with the Duplo blocks. Welcome to Productive Introvert Community Podcast. I'm Mariella, and I support introverted solopreneurs in developing healthy habits so that they have the energy to work on their goals without daily routines that feel forced or only last 2 weeks. Back to the Duplo. During one of our playtimes with our son, I noticed that we each had a distinct way of playing with the Duplo blocks. My partner built the most intricate structures, symmetric skyscrapers with entrances and stairways that were hidden inside and that you'd only discover once you opened this little door and you would peek inside. I built mostly domestic scenes, a playground with parents pushing their kids on swings and dogs sniffing in the bushes. Very simple scenes at first glance, but with little small surprises around every corner. Our son, who was about 2.5 at the time, he wasn't actually really building anything, but he would use the puppets and the farm animals of the Duplo sets to act out little stories on the structures that my partner and I had built. Things like a cheetah climbing the skyscraper to get away from a zookeeper who was trying to catch him, or a baby falling off a swing on a playground and crying out for its mother. Although the building blocks were the same for each of us, we used them in very different ways. It reminded me of your habit style, your natural style to help you build habits for an easy and effective daily routine. You see, some people thrive on structure, while structure can be completely stifling for other people. Sudden changes in daily routines can stress some people out, while others welcome the playful flexibility. In working with one-to-one coaching clients, I discovered 3 different habit styles. If you have the style of the painter's palette, for instance, forcing yourself to a strict daily routine can feel very stifling. The painters in my community often say that structure doesn't work for them at all, that it's a total creativity killer, and they even strongly dislike the word structure itself. On the other hand, if you're the builder's mortar, you actually like structure. Structure helps the builders to be prepared for what they need to do, and it helps them to feel calm. The builders in my community often can't imagine how someone can live without any structure in their life because that only leads to chaos and stress for them. And if you have the 3rd style, the chef's cookbook, you like structure, but not too much. For the chefs, structure helps them to keep oversight and to feel in control of their day. But when they start over-organizing their day, it has the opposite effect, and they start feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. So what does that have to do with playtime with my son? It would be silly to say that an intricate Duplo skyscraper is more valuable than a Duplo playground. Just as taking away the farm animals and forcing our toddler to build a house of Duplo would be a surefire way to put him off playing with Duplo for a while. The same is true for your habit style. One style is not more valuable than the other. There's also not one style that's more effective at reaching goals or maintaining habits over time. Sometimes we see a lot online that has been tailored to one style. And if you're noticing that it doesn't work for you, you might just have a different habit style. The key is to be aware of your habit style and to choose the tools that match your style so that you can work in an easy and effective way. Share your thoughts with us in the comments if this made you think. I've had a couple of my community members send me their Duplo stories. It's really funny to know that everyone has one. If you'd like more of this, check out the other 5-minute letters linked in the description. I send a weekly letter to my email community with insights and inspiration for introverted solopreneurs who want to develop healthy habits and have the energy to work on their goals without those daily routines that feel forced or only last 2 weeks. I'll also leave the link to that for you in the description if that sounds good. So this was the last of the 5-minute letter series, and next week we'll have our normal 10-minute episode where I just basically ramble on. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and let's talk again next week. Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.